Hi guys, I'll try again. So, for you Russians out there, who knows if you're probably not going to see anything because the Satanists want to control everything, right? In these days, you Russians are sent to the front line to be butchered. The Satanists loves it. They just butcher you, send you on the front line and just butcher you. They just, we the people are getting butchered by the Satanists. They just, put us out there and then they butcher you. I don't know, a way to, you could flee from Russia, flee the battlefield would be a pretty good idea. Of course, Christ never said we should kill anyone. He said we should go and preach the good news. So, well, of course, that's totally nonsense in regards to all those things. If you're Russian, I would look into trying to get away from getting to the front field and being butchered and slaughtered, and it's a bloodbath, some of the stories that is coming forward in regards of if you're not being slaughtered by the Ukrainians, you will be slaughtered when you move backward by your own people. So it's a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath, and the Satanist just loves it, just to slaughter a lot of people because they believe that we're too many people in the world anyway. So send them to the front line and make them butcher each other. It's disgusting. War is a filthy thing. It's a way to be able to commit inquisition behind the veil of war. Now, you Russians, your life are much more important than to stupidly go out and be butchered and go out to try to kill others in the image of the gods. You see, we're all made in the image of the gods, and we shouldn't kill each other, So, like, is that what your life is worth, to be sent by one of these Satanists to the front line and be butchered? Is that what your life is worth, Is that all? Yeah. You should rather die for the word of truth than the Satanists who just, give us a weapon and send you to the front line and make you run into the fire line. And yeah, they've done it multiple times in history. Well, they tend to do it all the time, right? Makes us butcher each other. Yeah. So I think those Russians that fled the country were heroes. I think that's the right thing to do, to get away from this nonsense, not to take part in this filth of going out and killing other people. It's bullshit. This so-called special operation was a direct attack on Ukraine. You can call it what you want, but it's the Russian army that is on Ukraine soil, right? So whatever special operation bullshit and all that, it's you guys on, Ukraine land. So, and you're gonna use whatever excuses you want, but that's how it is, right? So, but yeah, at the moment you Russians are just being sent to the front, and doing all these attacks and being butchered and slaughtered and all that is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Are you Russians' lives not worth more than this bullshit? Think about it. Your children being sent to war, your husband being sent to war, all this disgusting, being sent to war for what? To be slayed, to be killed, to be murdered, for what? Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. So if you can, just try to get around it. It's terrible. It wouldn't matter if I was on one side or the other side. I wouldn't pick up a weapon to fight. It doesn't matter which way it goes. And people could say, well, you are this and that. I don't care. You want to slay other people. And a lot of these people being sent into war, are just, they have more in common with you than your leaders, these satanic depraved bullshitters who are sending people into war. Who are they to decide if you are going to war or not? You shouldn't. That shouldn't be their prerogative, or whatever you want to call it, to try to close you down and force you into the military. Are you kidding me? That's our decision. It should never be any other's decision to force us in to go out and kill other people made in the image of the gods. We're called to preach the good news, not take up a weapon to kill other people. They're just totally nonsense. So, and apparently some Russians also believe that we in the West hate Russians. I don't hate Russians at all. I don't hate Russians. That's why I don't want to see you go to war and be butchered, okay? Again, is your life not worth more than that, to just go to war for maniacs that want to go into war and this and that, And just, losing your family members and all that, just terrible, absolutely terrible. So, yeah. I know it's not easy, in regards if you're in Russia and all that, but isn't it, better to see if you can do something before they actually take you to the front line and pretty much with a gun tell you to go, move, into the front line of firing and being butchered and slaughtered and all that. War is a terrible, terrible, evil thing. So, if you guys can, just flee the nation or something like that. If there's a possibility to get away from these, from these things. I know it's not easy. I wouldn't be in the position. I'm thankful for not being in the position that many of you Russians are put in, to being sent to the front line. But the fact is that the Russian, the Western leaders and the Russian leaders are pretty much in the same boat. They're all Satanists. It doesn't matter which one it is, pretty much. We've seen what they have been doing to the people for the last couple of years. Well, and further, of course, further back, right? So much nonsense, so many wars, so many disgusting things that they do against us. Of course, it's in regards to the Roman world order that they want to restore. The devil's Roman world order. So, yeah. If you have the energy or the strength and all that, just see if you can't get away from Russia, or so you're not put into this front thing, and just for being butchered and slaughtered and killed. It's like, you see the Ukrainians in some of the videos as well, just enjoying, yay, liberated and all that, right? And of course, that's one thing, right? But what are we joyous about? How many people have been killed? It doesn't matter if it's one side or the other. How many people have been killed? It's like, we're very good, that's usually in regards to war, to demonize the other side, right? That's because if we can demonize and dehumanize the other side, it's much easier to just kill them, right? And go out and, let's go out and kill them, right? They're humans, they're made in the image of the gods. So it's kind of, how many people are going to be killed and murdered? on this. We already have huge numbers, right? If they're further going to send like Russians without any, much, just, take people from Russia and just put them in the front and hey, just go right into the firing line. And then when they turn around, then you have another front, a Russian line ready to shoot you, right? So if the Ukraine doesn't get you, your own countryman is going to get you, right? You gotta be kidding me. It's filthy. So, and of course, the weapon industry loves it, right? And the whole thing, this whole satanic world loves, conflict. Because you can butcher people and you can get a lot of resources by doing it, right? If you are on the side of the devil. Yeah. So if there's any way for you Russians to get away from this, in regards to the Ukraine side, I wouldn't fight on the Ukraine side either, wouldn't be on any side, I wouldn't be. It's you're still taking up a weapon, whether you want to see, these are the good guys and these are the bad guys, and we usually put things in that perspective, right? But it's all bad, isn't it? We're butchering each other, right? Lots of people are getting killed on both sides, and now all the Russians are being sent to the front, right? Inexperience and all that. You just push them out there, right? And being sent for a bloodbath. A bloodbath. And then, of course, if you survive, you might come back. If you come back alive, you might come back with all these different issues. Maybe you lost some part of your body, or maybe you are, unhealthy on many other levels, and then you need to live with that for the rest of your life. And sometimes you think maybe it was better to be killed, right? We see damages of the thing that I'm not allowed to talk about, right? Because then Google censors you and gives you this and that. Oh, sick and tired of this sickening world, hours and hours and hours of damages of these sick snake oil injections, and yet people can't talk about it. It's a world holocaust, pretty much. Yeah, they try to do anything and everything to have us kill each other. It's disgusting. So anyway, for you Russians out there, I don't hate you, and I'm sure a lot of other Westerners don't hate you at all. It's just all the maniac things that is going on in the world, as usual, pretty much. And I would just suggest, if you can, then don't be sent to the front line, because you might very well be sent to the front line and be sent running into the line of fire. And if you turn around, you might just be running into another line of fire. So, and then you might, your life might be snuffed out. And if you are young and you have strength and all that, in regards of bodily strength and all that, why would you throw that away for this nonsense, for some maniacs who wanna, let's just, so all those Russians that have fled this because they don't want to be, it's pretty good thing to just leave, Let the mad people, do, and yeah. One should never be forced into such things like this, Fight for a government, right? Fight for a criminal government. They're all criminals, They're all whoring with Rome, They're all in league with the Antichrist of the number 666. They're all working for the papacy. Doesn't matter if it's one side or the other side. They're all in bed with the great stinking whore of Rome. We need to get back to the Bible, and we need to get back to Jesus, and we need to stand on truth, and we need to be very discerning in regards of all the devil's deceptions. There's so much deception in this world. There's so much snake oil. I never knew how much it was, and the more you get, you figure out, the more you find out that it's everywhere. Christmas, satanic snake oil. Easter, satanic snake oil. The pagan New Year in the winter, satanic snake oil. Valentine's Day, satanic snake oil. Halloween, satanic snake oil. The whole Roman calendar, satanic snake oil. Although I know in regards of Russia and the Orthodox, I think you're running with the Julian calendar, right? Not the upgraded, so-called upgraded Gregorian calendar or whatever nonsense. There's still Roman calendars. It's still not the biblical calendar. The biblical calendar, the New Year is in spring, and you have Passover and 7 days of unleavened bread, counting to the festival, the weeks. Then you have the fall festivals, the Day of Trumpet, the Day of Atonement, and the festival of Sukkot or Booth, and the last great day. That's the festivals of Jehovah. Not all that other nonsense, And, the world loves its traditions, for sure. And we're lying to our children on so many levels, and it's all a lie. It's all a deception, and there's so much of it. So if you Russians out there hearing anything, just see if you can't get away from it. You don't want to be sent to the front line. And waste your life for that nonsense. To be put in the front line to die. What's the idea with that? Yeah. And just, like what, 300 and something thousand people just being put in and there you go, yeah, go get killed, right? And, just, oh my. So I would still, hope that, the satanic leaders would, make an open meeting so anything is open so everybody can see and hear what they do and talk about, because we want to sniff their buttholes, because we know that they're depraved Satanists, so we want to know what they're doing, right? So put these Satanists into a room together and let's have a live stream throughout the world and find an agreement in regards of stopping this nonsense. You could get together in regards of trying to sort out all the orthodoxy, satanic worship of images and paintings and all that and become Christian, And you would say, well, we are Christians. Well, you're worshiping the devil, That's what you're doing. You might tell, yeah, well, we are Christians. But what are you really bowing in front? Images, idols, and all that nonsense? Give me a break. That's not Christianity. That's Satanism. Yeah, you can call you Christian, as much as you want. And by the way, if you go to war and you think you get some credibility or, credits or, whatever to go to war, what are you talking about? Oh, of course, this is God divine, whatever, Well, I'm sure both sides are fighting for God, right? But what did Jesus Christ tell us to do? Go out and spread the good news, or the happy message of God dying for the sins of the world, once and for all. Become disciples of the Master, the Jewish King. The Jewish King, yeah. Oh well, the Romanizers hate the Jewish King, right? They might proclaim themselves Christians, right? But they're promoting all the satanic anti-Christian bullshit. And they're following the Antichrist. So, and that's the papacy. And Rome is the stinking hole. This is something every Protestant knew in the past. Because you have to be, you have to know it to be a Protestant. Or you're just a Protestant of empty an empty vessel. A lot of empty vessels calling themselves Protestants is around in these days. They're not Protestants if they don't protest. They're not Protestants if they don't know who the Antichrist is. A lot of people don't know Scripture anymore. The last beast is Roman. The last empire is Roman. And there's Roman agents all over the world working for the Roman Emperor in Rome. Yep. So anyway. But yeah. If you can, if you're in Russia and you might be, and see if you can figure out something to get away from it. I guess every other kind of option might be a lot better than to be sent to the front line to die, right? I would think, anything else, fleeing to another nation or something like that seems to be a lot better than to be sent to the front line to be shot and to be killed, or maybe get damaged and live with that for the rest of your life, right? And if you're young, right, you have a lot of things. You still have a we have one line between two numbers, right? Why use it for killing other people? Doesn't really make sense, does it? There's enough war in the world that you don't need to take part in it, right? There's a lot of other people that is surely going to take part in all these disgusting, filthy things, right? They don't need you, right? Just bail out in some way, if you can figure out some way to do it. Get away from it. Don't be sent to the front. So much, usually it's the state that kills their own, right? And the states are very good to kill their own, they're really just butchering on both sides, a bloodbath, a river of blood. Yeah, I have a lot of issues, right? But I guess it's peanuts compared to being just pushed out there on the front and in the fire line, yeah. So that's all I wanted to say, I guess. And get a Bible as well, and get reading, and be careful about Roman Pharisee Pope Paulus the First. Well, the first papist. And be instructed by the Master, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Amen. Yeah. So, I'm just thinking, looking at some of these Russian and Ukraine videos and all that, and it's just stupid, absolutely stupid, and talking about, and it's not a surprise that the Russians are just being put on the front line and just go attack, right, and being slaughtered in the fire line, and then the Russians retreat, and then they hit another line, a Russian line, and then they get butchered there because they're, falling back, Oh my. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Is life not worth more than that, right? I can understand, if we go out and fight for Jesus, not in regards of fighting with the hand of the sword, but the sword of the mouth. So, the sword of the mouth. That's pretty much what we are, that's what Christians are told to use. To speak the truth, not go out and butcher others. So, upcoming alarm, I guess. Well, I wonder what the time is, because I have two different clocks. One says 9, one says 6, and this says, I guess, maybe 8. Maybe we have pulled the clock backward or something like that. Maybe. I guess another Roman bullshit tradition. Anyway, take care, all of you. I guess it says we'll probably not get out too many Russians either, cause media, don't get that many people. Anyway, may Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua, most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Take care, all of you. Be careful of the Satanist that is trying to kill us, or try to make us take part in that butchering bullshit, It's bad. It's evil. And it's